Hello, I'm Pradeepa of Limewood Art, and today we're going to paint this beautiful rose with a loose background using these colors. I'm painting in my sketchbook and I'm using permanent rose and a small size 2 brush to just put in the position of each petal. Now I have drawn a very light sketch with a pencil, just using an image I found on the internet, and it's not even the same colored rose, so it was just for a rough idea of how the petals sit with respect to each other. And then once I've done that, I'm just using permanent rose here to paint in the position of the petals. I've now shifted to a larger brush, a size 8 brush, and this allows me to paint the larger petals on the outside. And once I've painted much of the rose, in fact you can see that that kind of triangular edge to the rose petal is quite characteristic of a rose. I painted enough roses to know what makes a rose look like a rose, and that is one of them. Now once I've done the basic shape, I'm now adding the bright red, which is almost like a cadmium red, but it's transparent, and I'm adding it on the insides where the shadows would fall, so where the petal meets the center of the rose. And I'm just dropping it into the petals wet on wet and allowing it to spread organically. Once I've done that with most of the petals, I'll then be shifting to blue, where you can use a cobalt blue or an ultramarine blue, and you can just see me adding the blue now. Once I've added the blue, I'm going to change to a green gold and paint in the stalk of the rose with a little leaf there and another leaf on the other side, all the time with green gold. And it doesn't matter if the pink flows in, it all makes for a very organic look. I'm then going to add a darker color for the inside, which is made of the red, the permanent red, and the blue. Similarly for the leaf as well, the foliage, where we're going to be adding a mixture of ultramarine blue and the green gold, and that just provides some contrast. So I'm going to continue adding that darker color, but before that I'm just taking out all the stark whites with clean water so that they look more soft, and though they're still light, they're not the white of the paper. And then continuing with the same mixture of the blue and the permanent red. It's quite a thick mixture now. It is almost like cream, and you can see that as I drop it in and wet and wet, it's starting to develop that 3D effect. So I'm carrying on with painting those darks. And I've just fast forwarded a little bit so you don't have to watch me do every single thing. Now you will notice that I have a lot of red everywhere, so I want to reclaim some of the highlights, and I'm just using a kitchen towel that's been scrunched up and made into a point to just get some of my highlights back. And then using those highlights, I'm just putting in my dark paint just under those highlights so that they can act as shadows. I'm just spending some more time faffing around the painting and deepening the shadows, lightening some highlights. In the end, these are the things that's going to really help with making that rose look really good, really 3D and really attractive. Once I've done all that, now we move to the background where I'm just using permanent rose and spreading it around again with my size 8 brush, just loosely allowing the paint to touch the rose so that some of that paint will flow out. And I'm doing that on purpose because I do want the rose looking as if it's fading into that background. And once I'm happy with how much paint I've added, I can also go back and do some spatters around the rose, going back as well and doing some green spatters with that green gold. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe for more.